Defiant Wrestling has seen has seen David Starr fail quite a bit. Defiant Wrestling has seen me set goals, and they've seen me not accomplish goals. They've seen me fight with everything I have. They've seen me put to sleep. They've seen me battered. They've seen me beaten up. They've seen me kind of go against my own values, my own ethics. They've seen me do everything I can to win. They've seen me fight with every last breath in my body. But I said 2019 was going to be the year that this nearly man stigma that was given to me was going to be eradicated. The nearly man stigma is over. 2019 is David Starr's year. That's not just a talking point, that's reality. And you can see that through everything that's been happening for me in professional wrestling. You can see that by me winning the No Regrets Rumble. You can see that by me winning the Super Strong Style 16. You can see that by having this independent movement completely behind me. I'm going out and I'm proving that I am the best independent professional wrestler on the planet. And on June 29th at Built to Destroy, Defiant's anniversary show, David Starr is going to win the Defiant Wrestling World Championship. I don't care if it's Rampage. I don't care if it's Pac. I don't care if it's anybody else. I'm leaving Built to Destroy the Defiant World Champion.
An absolutely enormous night here on Loaded for two men, two Defiant Wrestling originals. There is only one piece of business tonight here on Loaded, a 30-minute Iron Man match between Gabriel Kidd and Joe Hendry. The loser leaves Defiant forever.
Hendry and Kidd have been here since day one, years. They have battled against each other now within 30 minutes. All of that could wash away and will wash away for one of these men. It's unthinkable, Bradshaw.
The stakes could not be higher for these two gentlemen. Here we go. Coming up next, the Iron Man match between Hendry and Kidd.
Hi guys, join me backstage at Defiant Wrestling. I'm here at this time with Lana Austin. Now, of course, just wonder if I could grab a quick word with you. After No Regrets, Liz had some pretty harsh things to say to you, one of them being that maybe she's just not sleeping with the right people. What do you think she meant by that?
Well, it's funny you should say that, because I noticed that CJ Banks made his debut, and if that's how they think things go around here, then I guess he is sleeping with the right people.
True. Yeah, okay, I can totally see your point. Could be coincidence.
But you know what? It's fine. It's honestly fine. I don't like her. She doesn't like me. But I'm not the only person that doesn't like her around here.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
Hi, gorgeous.
Hello.
You alright?
I'm good, thank you.
I need to ask you a favour.
Okay.
Now, sad news, Jack's out for at least 6 months. He tore his knee up in the last match that we had against Renben. But at the tuck shop, everyone gets served, and I need a replacement partner. And I'm thinking Visage and the stunning Lana Austin would be great together.
Please, that would be awesome.
And speaking of your problem with Lizzie, how about next week, me and you, the tuck shop, go against her and her side piece, CJ.
Yes, please. Thank you. That would be awesome.
Let's go.
Bye.
Bye. There you have it.
The prestigious one, Joe Hendry versus Gabriel Kidd in a loser leaves town match, an Iron Man match. This is without doubt the most important match in my career, and that is saying something because I've wrestled Kurt Angle, we've both wrestled Cody Rhodes, we've both wrestled the best of the best, and we've been on this journey together. We've been adversaries, but we've both been here since the start. You go back to 2016 and Joe Hendry was 3 years in the business. I was just a gimmick, I was just an entrance. You, Gabriel Kidd, you were just a child, you were a kid, you were a jobber. But now, I was in that rumble and I was lying down on my back. I was watching you destroy opponent after opponent, and to tell you the truth, I don't know, Gabe. I don't know if I'm better than you. I watch you destroy your opposition, but what I do know is that I need to find out, and that is exactly what is going to happen. There will be no excuses. 30 minutes we got to tear each other limb from limb to find out who truly is the best here in Defiant Wrestling. You and me. Loser leaves town. 30-minute Iron Man match. This is the very last time that you're going to see one of us in Defiant Wrestling.
Here we go. The match everyone has been waiting for.
What an enormous gamble on the part of the prestigious one who requested this stipulation.
The following contest, it is the 30-minute Iron Man match. The winner will be the wrestler with the most decisions in the 30-minute time frame. The loser will leave Defiant Wrestling for good. Introducing first, from Edinburgh, Scotland, weighing in tonight, 229 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the prestigious one, Joe Hendry!
What a career Joe Hendry has had here in Defiant Wrestling, and before that WCPW, of course, he took on Kurt Angle famously one-on-one. He is a former Defiant World Champion. Hendry has done it all, but it could all come crashing to an end in just half an hour's time.
It could, but Joe Hendry is not the only one who could lose it all tonight. Another man who could is the young bull, Gabriel Kidd. It's unthinkable, Bradshaw, but one of these men will have to leave Defiant Wrestling. I wish it hadn't come to this, but it has.
I know who I hope it is.
His opponent, wrestling out of Nottingham, England, and weighing in tonight at 200 pounds, he is the young bull, Gabriel Kidd.
Gabriel Kidd, of course, a former internet champion, famously pinning Cody Rhodes to win what was until then the longest losing streak in Defiant history. But since then, Gabriel Kidd, one of the most impressive athletes, one of the most impressive competitors in Defiant. He has been within a hair of winning the Defiant World title on what, 2-3 occasions now? Gabriel Kidd is every bit as good as he says he is, but he's also, unfortunately, a thoroughly dislikable human being.
And that losing streak, even though it went on for the longest time, we're talking about months, I have a hunch that even that losing streak might not feel as long or painful as 30 minutes in there with the prestigious one, Joe Hendry will. These men can't stand one another. They settle their business tonight on Loaded.
Yeah, they have had two clashes recently, neither of them providing a decisive winner. 20-minute time limit draw between the two of them. A magnificent 7, and Hendry coming out of the gates early here.
Well, I wondered if Kidd and Hendry might pace themselves for these 30 minutes. That idea just went out the nearest window.
Well, you can only pace yourself if your opponent's prepared to do the same. If one of you comes charging out of the blocks, the other one obviously has no choice but to do the same.
What a match this is going to be. By the end of these 30 minutes, we are going to find out which one of Joe Hendry and Gabriel Kidd will be forced out of Defiant Wrestling.
Well, Kidd is forcing his thumbs into the eyes of Joe Hendry. Referee would have been well within his rights to disqualify Kidd and give an early fall to Hendry. Hendry's going to try and get it over.
There we go.
He does!
Picking up the first decision, Joe Hendry!
Hendry 1-0 up. Hendry 1 up already.
And what is that going to do to the... Like, psychologically, what will that do to the young bull? Wait a minute. Don't tell me we're going to see another one.
A bicycle kick. Bicycle kick by Hendry, and then he catches him with a lung blower. Gabriel Kidd is not at the races at all here.
Well, Joe Hendry has new gear, new ring attire, but he has that same mean streak that has taken him to the top, that killer instinct, especially when he's in there with Gabriel Kidd.
That ring attire could become a collector's item because it may end up being worn one time only, but it doesn't look that way at the moment. Hendry already 1-0 up. We talked about that 20-minute time limit draw at Magnificent 7. The second time they competed was on Loaded a few weeks ago. That one ending in a deliberate disqualification thanks to the actions of Gabriel Kidd. There's a lariat from Kidd. He can level the score here. Will he do so? He does.
Picking up his first decision, making it 1-1, Gabriel Kidd.
We're not even 2 minutes in, and this is already 1-1 apiece.
Well, that shows you that both Gabriel Kidd and Joe Hendry came ready to fight here tonight. If this was a regular match, we would have been out of here within less than a few minutes. And remember, at Magnificent 7, these men went to a 20-minute time limit draw. They've proven they can go the distance before.
Yeah, I mean, in that match, no falls in 20 minutes.
Exactly.
This time it didn't even take 10% of that time to be a fall each. So we are in uncharted territory here between Hendry and Kidd.
These men can't stand one another, Bradshaw. That's the beauty of professional wrestling, real professional wrestling, when you have two men in that ring who cannot stomach one another and they're willing to do whatever it takes to win.
Series of uppercuts there from Hendry. Oh. Both men seem to be hitting extra hard tonight.
You're not kidding. Did you see what Gabriel Kidd put behind that forearm, and now just with a boot right to the neck, the throat of Joe Hendry?
I mean, it shows what it means, though. It shows exactly what it means, because these two, as we talked about at the top of the match, they have both been in Defiant from the very beginning. But for one of them, that long and winding story will come to an end here tonight.
Only one man can win. Now both, oh, here's another cover.
Okay, for another cover and a kick out on two by Hendry, but Hendry's lower back hit that turnbuckle very hard, and Kidd knows it, which is why he follows up with the kick.
And both had very, very tough physical nights at No Regrets recently on pay-per-view. Don't forget that Gabriel Kidd, all in, went around 75 minutes in that match. It was unbelievable to watch. He's going to have to go another 30 here tonight on Loaded.
You know, Kidd wouldn't have had to go 75 minutes if he hadn't lost the match to David Starr earlier that same evening, and that was obviously a match with a big stipulation that didn't go Kidd's way. If the same thing happens here, then there'll be even more serious consequences. It will be the very last we ever see of the young bull.
And I cannot fathom that, I have to be honest. Now, since day one, Gabriel Kidd has been a cornerstone of Defiant Wrestling. Love him or loathe him, he has been a cornerstone around here. Defiant Wrestling would be poorer without Gabriel Kidd. The same rings true of Joe Hendry, however.
We've seen such a change in the personality of Gabriel Kidd this past year, just over a year now. Gabriel Kidd with such a bad attitude, and has been reflected in the level of crowd support he has received in that time.
Great
Absolutely
neckbreaker.
despised, and there are a lot of fans who have come here specifically tonight in hopes of seeing the end of Gabriel Kidd's career, and we may be close to that.
Did you see the power of Joe Hendry deadlifting Gabriel Kidd into that German suplex? Wow.
Joe Hendry, such an athlete, takes physical conditioning so seriously, as he's had to do with all of the disciplines in which he has mastered, not just pro wrestling, where, as I said, he's a former world champion, but also, as we documented many times before, represented his country at the Commonwealth Games in amateur wrestling. He's got
5 minutes have gone by.
Stevie there giving us the time update, and he's a pretty good fledgling career in MMA. He's been training hard in that as well as Hendry. So Joe Hendry, a master of many, many different talents.
And think about this. 5 minutes and the abuse that both these men have already inflicted on one another. They're going to have to go another 25 minutes, and right now that must feel like a lifetime.
You know, the danger, one of the dangers in this kind of situation is that if one man does become incapacitated, then it could be not just a loss but a humiliation.
Oh,
If
yes.
one man can rack up the score, the match does not end until that 30-minute mark, regardless. And maybe the Kidd's advantage, because he has just sent Hendry through that crowd barrier. The barrier has collapsed.
And with it might the dreams, the hopes and dreams, and the future of Joe Hendry here in Defiant, will they collapse as well? And perhaps, Bradshaw, it was only a matter of time before this went to the streets.
They are brawling all around this building here in Newcastle. Hendry just went face first into the table there.
Well, they've brawled before. This is nothing new for these men. As I said at the top of this match, they can't stand one another. We're seeing picture evidence right here tonight.
Right into another barrier goes Hendry. And Kidd is now firmly in control. We've seen Gabriel Kidd in a match of this kind fairly recently against David Starr. It was a match that Kidd won as he puts the boot in again.
Well, maybe Gabriel Kidd feels good about what he achieved in that match, and he wants to repeat that success against Hendry here tonight on Loaded.
Yeah, he definitely feels comfortable outside the ring brawling. Notice the referee isn't bothering with a count here because, of course, in this situation, a double count out doesn't mean anything. It would just mean one more point for each competitor. So,
oh, hard. Face first, head first, right into that ring post goes the prestigious one.
Back into the ring goes Hendry.
Well, this is where Kidd wants... Oh, no.
Now, what is this? Well, it's not a no disqualification match, so I don't know what Gabriel Kidd is thinking. This would put him behind. This would put Gabriel Kidd 2 falls to 1 behind if he uses that steel chair. Referee is trying to reason with Gabriel Kidd. Kidd needs to think about this for the sake of his own career.
Yeah, but think about this. Yes, it might cost Gabriel Kidd 1 fall in the short term, but think about the lasting long-term damage this could do to Joe Hendry. But Gabriel Kidd sees better sense.
Kidd instead will look for a suplex, will he? Instead it's counter, inside cradle, the inside cradle from Hendry, just a 1 count. Shoulder block from Hendry.
Pace picks back up.
Yeah, Hendry more than equal to the task when that pace does increase, just as it has here. There's the double underhook and the butterfly position.
Whoa!
Drops him face first on the knee.
That was unique. Joe Hendry busting out some new offense here for this Iron Man match. Whoa!
Oh, what a lariat. What a lariat from Hendry.
Using Gabriel Kidd's own tactics against him as well with that big lariat.
Yeah, Kidd has just about the most vicious lariat we see in Defiant, but Hendry's one right there came pretty close.
Tip up from Joe Hendry. Wait a minute.
There's a chair, steel chair from Kidd.
That's a disqualification straight away.
What are you doing?
Picking up the decision as the result of a disqualification to make it 2-1, Joe Hendry.
Well, that is deliberate from Kidd.
Damn right it's deliberate.
Oh, I see. I see what the plan is here. Gabriel Kidd will go for the cover and level the score.
Picking up the decision to make it 2-all, Gabriel Kidd.
What did I say, Bradshaw? In the short term, it might cost Gabriel Kidd, but long term is the key in this match.
Kidd's going to try for something here. He's got Hendry up.
Tombstone.
Looking for the tombstone. Oh! Tombstone pile driver by Gabriel Kidd to take the lead in the match, and he does.
The winner of the fall, Gabriel Kidd, to make it 3-2 in his favor.
Really? This is how Gabriel Kidd wants to win this. This is how he wants to end the career of Joe Hendry. It's such a cynical strategy, using that steel chair, losing 1 fall and gaining 2.
What do you want him to do? Make him a daisy chain? What do you want? Friendship? No, vindictiveness, evil.
I want him to wrestle without the use of a chair. Is that too much to ask?
Listen, this is war. We've said it many times over. Kidd and Hendry despise one another. They hate one another's guts. They will do whatever it takes to rub the other man's nose in it.
We are
10 minutes have gone by. 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was about to say we are at the 10-minute mark.
And the big picture here, like it or not, Gabriel Kidd currently at the 10-minute mark is in the lead, a 3-2 lead.
It is a very questionable 3-2 lead, but it is a lead nonetheless. Hendry's having to get back into the ring. The referee had a count on there.
Well, Joe Hendry could have a concussion. Not only was he blasted with that chair, but he went head first, planted in the middle of the ring with that tombstone pile driver.
Again with the choke, just breaking up before the count of 5. He was holding onto the ropes as well.
Joe Hendry, you know, he can last the distance, but this abuse that he has taken from Gabriel Kidd, he's rubber-legged at this point.
Some verbal abuse thrown in there by Kidd for good measure as well. Oh, what a strike right into the chops of Joe Hendry from Gabriel Kidd.
Now, I know, Bradshaw, you do not like Gabriel Kidd's tactics, but even if you don't like them, you cannot argue with the success of those tactics.
Yeah, I talked about the possibility of someone racking up the score, and after the chair shot followed by the tombstone, you do wonder whether Gabriel Kidd will do exactly that. Hendry has not been at the races ever since that, and there we see even more damage being administered by Gabriel Kidd, dropping Hendry throat first over the top of that barrier. Hendry finding a way to fight back. His career depends on it.
It's almost instinctive at this point for the prestigious one. He knows as hard as he's getting hit right now, he has to hit back twice as hard if he hopes to stay in this match, because if Gabriel Kidd starts opening up a lead here, it could be very problematic for Joe Hendry.
Yeah, no one has had a 2-full lead so far, and at the moment it is still within 1 in Kidd's favour, unfortunately. Kidd will grab the legs of Hendry, looking for the Boston Crab, cinching down. Look at the taut on the lower back of Joe Hendry.
Beautiful, the positioning of Kidd, putting all that weight down on the spine of Hendry. And you can see the desperation on the face of Hendry right now.
That is 200 pounds of British beef there on top of Joe Hendry.
If this goes to 4-2, it's trouble. Mark my words. It's imperative that Joe Hendry finds a way out here,
he
does.
Yeah, he does find a way out, but the effort it took, and now Kidd is going to hold on for all of that 5 count. And Hendry had to use just about all of the energy he had left in the tank to get to that bottom rope.
There is a hush over this crowd. They cannot believe what they are witnessing here. They are seeing a genius at work in Gabriel Kidd.
Well, more importantly still, we may be looking at the slow death of the career of a former world champion playing out over a 30-minute period here, or are we? Because Hendry is fighting back. Hendry with the uppercuts. Kidd, 1 strike sends Hendry down, and that is the difference in the condition of the 2 men at this point in the match.
Gabriel Kidd sent Joe Hendry careening to the mat. Almost a knockout blow, and again with that boot across the throat of the prestigious one. Gabriel Kidd has all the time in the world here. He doesn't have to rush, and I think he's relishing the chance to inflict more damage on someone he can't stand.
And that is one of the key parts of an Ironman match, if you are in the lead, is clock management, and that is exactly what Kidd is doing here. We approach the halfway mark in the match. Hendry, though, sends him in, or charges at him rather, in the corner. Hendry lands on the apron. Kidd with the block, slap to the face of Hendry. Hendry in a precarious position on that ring apron. Kidd sees it. Kidd, I think, is going to launch himself and drops Hendry. Hendry goes face first into the apron.
And this all suits the young bull. You know, this really does. Joe Hendry down. Gabriel Kidd has some time to rest. This is a perfect scenario for Gabriel Kidd.
Yeah, the onus, obviously, on Hendry at this point to find a way back in. Kidd can keep this on the outside for the whole of the rest of the match if he wants to, as long as they're both out there.
He just might do it. And again, look at this. Gabriel Kidd, so smart, throwing Joe Hendry back over that barrier into the crowd.
Yeah, not going to be any pinfalls or submissions for Joe Hendry when he's not between the ropes. And Kidd with wisdom, I guess, if you could call it that, beyond his years, to keep Hendry away from the ring.
Just a hard shot right to the face again. There's some serious meat behind every one of these blows from Kidd to Hendry. Oh, case in point.
15 minutes have gone by. 15 minutes remaining the time limit.
Well, into the second half of the match, Hendry knows that time is against him. Look at this from Hendry. Hendry finds a second win. The prestigious one, fighting for his career.
Joe Hendry. A house of... That was unbelievable. What a rally from the prestigious one. And that's what it takes. Yes, maybe it was desperation, but that's all Joe Hendry has right now. Right now, he's lost this match. He is out of Defiant Wrestling. He has less than 15 minutes to correct that and stay in this company.
15 minutes will seem like a long time to Gabriel Kidd. It will seem like a flash of lightning for Joe Hendry at the moment, because we're already, one of those 15 is just about gone. Kidd sends Hendry into the crowd barrier again. This is absolute carnage. That barrier has been completely taken out of position. Kidd looking to get Hendry on his shoulders.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, Hendry got by Hendry.
Nothing can happen out here, though.
Well, Kidd can tap out all he wants here because it won't count.
Oh.
Hendry goes into the barrier.
And once again, Gabriel Kidd with the wherewithal, even though he was in incredible, extreme pain from that Hendry lock, found a way to reverse it. And once again, Joe Hendry finds himself on the hard wooden floor here at ringside.
Yeah, the ankle lock, the Hendry lock applied to Kidd for a few seconds there, and I guess we'll have to see in the next few minutes how much damage he was able to do. He wasn't able to get a fall from it because they're outside of the ring, but neither man obviously getting exactly what they wanted there because of the shot into the barrier on the part of Kidd for Hendry as well. So both men damaged, both men having to gut it out here at this point.
Well, we're around 17 minutes into this Iron Man match. And Joe Hendry looks worse for wear. Gabriel Kidd, he's hurt as well, obviously. He's had some punishment in this match, but he's standing tall and crucially has a 3-2 lead.
Kidd clearly confident, doing some drawing off to the crowd here as well. And as you said earlier, Kidd is just keeping this one at a very slow pace, and it is still on the outside of the ring. It's been out here for 3 or 4 minutes now, which suits Kidd. Kidd will...
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, we're sending Hendry back in, but that's because Kidd believes he has done enough damage to increase his lead.
This would be 4-2.
Yeah, it could be a 4-2 lead. Oh, nearly was. Very nearly was. Right shoulder of Hendry goes up at the very last second.
Well, perhaps it's only a matter of time, unless Joe Hendry can reverse his fortunes. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but we are around 12 minutes from seeing the end of Joe Hendry's Defiant wrestling career.
Hendry needs to very, very urgently find a way to get a foothold here, because Gabriel Kidd will stomp away at him. He will do whatever it takes to continue to wear down Joe Hendry. And how insufferable would Gabriel Kidd be if he can talk for the rest of his career about how he ended the career of Joe Hendry?
You cannot begrudge Gabriel Kidd that bragging right. If indeed he does win this Iron Man match, he would deserve to brag.
Hendry's still fighting back.
So would Joe Hendry, by the way. This is no mean feat. Both these men, unbelievable professional wrestlers. Joe Hendry firing back again, Dave.
Here comes Hendry again, and again, and again in the corner. Hendry will charge into the opposite side, but Kidd gets the boot up.
Every single time it looks like Hendry is building some momentum, Gabriel Kidd cuts him down.
Kidd, whatever you think of him, he has done that masterfully. Since he has gained that lead, he has done everything he can to stop Joe Hendry from getting into any kind of rhythm whatsoever.
And again, you can question the tactics with the chair and all the rest of it taking the disqualification, but it has worked for Gabriel Kidd.
I think Kidd may have knocked Hendry out. Hendry is unconscious. He's been worn down. Again, that headlock. Kidd is telling the referee, screaming at the referee, to ask Hendry if he submits. Hendry is struggling, not just to stay in the match, but to retain consciousness at this point. There are seconds left until the 20-minute mark.
Unbelievably energy-sapping 20 minutes for both these men. Now, again, they have been 20 minutes before. That extra 10 minutes could be key.
Cover, kick out.
20 minutes have gone by. 10 minutes remaining of the Iron Man.
10 long, hard minutes, Bradshaw.
And this is the longest these two have ever gone against each other now, one-on-one. That 20-minute time limit draw was at magnificent 7. But since then...
Whoa.
So this is longer than any normal Defiant wrestling match. Normally you have 20-minute time limits here, other than in title matches. And so Hendry and Kidd really into overtime here. Hendry looking to tie it up at 3-all, but he can't do it because Kidd kicks out.
Oh, you can just sense the desperation of Hendry, even to level this one up. Okay, at 3-3 he wouldn't win, but at least he would have parity. Right now he doesn't have that. Right now, perhaps Joe Hendry, this sudden dawning realization that his Defiant career is minutes away from ending.
grabbing each other by the hair from a horizontal position. These two ripping, clawing at each other. Anything they can do to gain the slightest advantage and to increase the chances that their career gets to continue at the expense of the other.
And if this does end for Joe Hendry tonight, what a career. You said at the top of this match, Bradshaw, Joe Hendry has had here in Defiant Wrestling. But you can see in his face, he's not ready for this journey to end.
I was going to say, don't start writing his obituary yet, because Joe Hendry still has a little bit over 8 minutes, and he's only one fall down here.
Joe Hendry has done special things his entire life. Does he have it in him to do one more special thing here tonight on Loaded?
Hendry charges. This time he gets him in the corner. Gabriel Kidd in all kinds of trouble. He'll get him a second time. Hendry looking for the hat trick and nails it. 3 for 4. Hendry won't stop.
Hendry exhausted. Oh, but here we go. Here's a cover attempt, perhaps.
He has battered Kidd here. Absolutely battered him. Will that be enough to level it? No, it won't.
And with every single kick out from Gabriel Kidd, you can just feel the energy leaving the body of Joe Hendry. This must be agonizing.
Well, we are at that point in the match, like in that 20-minute time limit draw, where both men are exhausted. Both men have left it all in the ring, but of course the difference here is that we are not in a tie situation. They are not tied.
No.
It is 3-2 to Gabriel Kidd. So again, as we said however many minutes ago, the onus remains with Joe Hendry to take the fight to Kidd. Kidd doesn't have to do that.
Kidd doesn't have to rush. You're right.
Kidd will go to the rope. Oh, God, what a shot. What a shot from Gabriel Kidd. Hendry unconscious for a 2-4 lead. No.
Oh, Justin, no more. Joe Hendry gets that shoulder up. Now, this would be fatal if Gabriel Kidd could open up a 4-2 lead. You have to believe that would be all said and done for the hopes of Joe Hendry.
Given how good Gabriel Kidd is now at this point in his career, I don't know if there is a professional wrestler alive who could get 2 falls over Gabriel Kidd in what, less than 7 minutes it would be now.
Oh, no, it's just not going to happen. The young bull, you're right, is that good.
Gabriel Kidd trying to bury that elbow in the head of Joe Hendry, and does so.
You know what makes it even more impressive is we're talking about the prestigious one that Gabriel Kidd is in there with. We're not talking about some schmuck.
Kidd, though, on the apron, or on the top rope rather, perched on that top turnbuckle. Hendry is up there now as well. This is dangerous territory for both men, particularly at this point in the match where mistakes are a possibility, exhaustion setting in for both men. Hendry with the headbutt on Kidd.
Oh, is Joe Hendry going up? Yes, he is. Oh, look at this.
Hendry, freak of nature! A variation on the freak of nature off the top.
Hendry might tie it, Dave.
The cover from Hendry to tie this up. That's free. Oh, no.
Oh, that has to hurt. Oh, I thought that was it.
I cannot believe that Gabriel Kidd kicked out of that.
I don't think Joe Hendry can believe it either, but he has no time to waste.
He's going to try for a freak of nature, this time from the canvas. Oh, we've got him on his shoulders. Hendry! Whoa! I've never seen Hendry do that before. The cover on Kidd, and Hendry levels it. Yes!
The winner of the fall to make it 3-all, Joe Hendry!
3-all, a shade over 5 minutes left. We are essentially, you've got to think now, in sudden death in the Iron Man match with 2 careers on the line. Goodness me.
25 minutes have passed. 5 minutes remaining in the Iron Man.
Can you call this? Can you call this with 5 minutes left?
Listen, I wouldn't classify myself a betting man, but even if I was, I would not put my money on either one of these men, because at this point in proceedings, 3 apiece, anything can happen.
Kidd and Hendry.
Who's it going to be?
My God, look at that defiance from Gabriel Kidd. The middle finger in the face of the prestigious one.
You know, you could argue that you would put your money on both these men. They are that good. They are that well matched, and we're seeing it here tonight.
Hendry, look at this from Hendry. Kidd trying to cover up to no avail. Right hand after right hand after right hand from Joe Hendry.
Well, does the momentum in this final 4 or 5 minutes rest? Does it lie with the... Oh, just
Disrespect. Yeah, insult and then some.
And is that going to
4 minutes remaining. 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Minutes left. This match had to happen, Joe Hendry felt, because Defiant Wrestling is no longer big enough for both Joe Hendry and Gabriel Kidd. Which one of them can force the other one out the door?
4 minutes for everything. Think about that. All the years of hard graft, toil, blood, sweat, tears, it could all come to an end.
Comes down to this. After 3 years in Defiant for both of these guys, 200 seconds to save your career.
3 years, all wrapped up in around 3 minutes.
Kidd once more with the elbow into the face, chop from Hendry in reply.
We've watched Joe Hendry bust out some new offense. He's brought his A game. Gabriel Kidd certainly brought his.
It's been undoubtedly one of the best matches in Defiant history, but that's not important to Gabriel Kidd or Joe Hendry. They don't care about how many stars.
3 minutes remaining. 3 minutes in the Iron Man.
It is all about their livelihood, all about maintaining their ability to do what they do for a living.
Both these men almost out on their feet. That's all it could take is just one flash strike, one knockout blow could win this match.
Kidd screaming at Hendry, Hendry obliging. Once more the uppercuts. Only that 5 or 6 in a row from Joe Hendry.
Well, we're at the stage in this match. One mistake could decide it, or one moment of genius from either Hendry or Kidd.
Brainbuster, in fact, in the end from Kidd. He'll go for the cover. Got the leg hook. Can he take a decisive lead? No, he can't.
We're coming up on 2 minutes to go, Dave. And both these men out just lying prone on the canvas, and who can blame them?
I don't know what we can do here. If we get, it could be a tie. We may go to overtime.
2 minutes remaining. 2 minutes.
2 minutes left for one of these two to seize the initiative. Oh, with Tombstone. He's going to go for the Tombstone. He's already won.
Wait a minute.
That is a counter. What a counter from Hendry. The Hendry lock. Hendry lock on Gabriel Kidd. Middle of the ring. I don't think Kidd can he reach the ropes here? Gabriel Kidd roll back into the center.
Hendry rolling with him, has that Hendry lock cinched right in.
Kidd's gonna have to tap. Kidd's gonna have to tap with only 90 seconds left. Gabriel Kidd again rolled back. Hendry will break his ankle if he doesn't tap out.
Kidd can't withstand this punishment much longer, Bradshaw. Surely.
Again the roll through.
This is a broken ankle, for sure.
Did he? No, he didn't tap. Hendry, and there's the tap. There's the tap out. It's only a minute
The
left.
winner of the decision, Joe Hendry, to make it 4-3 in his favor.
From 3-2
1
down.
minute remaining in the Iron Man. 1 minute.
From 3-2 down to 4-3 up. Gabriel Kidd has 60 seconds to save his career.
And now Gabriel Kidd goes from being in the hot seat to chasing this match. A disaster situation for the young bull.
We looked for much of this match. There will be Hendry who'll be leaving, and now it could be Kidd.
Oh, wait a minute.
Hendry looks for the freak of nature. Kidd counters.
Oh!
Low blow. Ref didn't see it. The ref had been knocked down.
30
like
seconds remaining. 30 seconds.
Here we go, another Tombstone pile driver.
Tombstone from Kidd.
We're going to be all even.
Kidd's going to level it. There's 15 seconds left. Hendry gets the shoulder up. Hendry gets the shoulder up. There's 10 seconds left.
Kidd has to hurry. Urgency is critical. You hear the countdown. 6, 5. Hurry, Kidd. Hurry, or you're out of Defiant Wrestling.
Time has run out for Gabriel Kidd's career.
The winner of the 30-minute Iron Man match, 4-3, the prestigious one, Joe Hendry.
Joe Hendry saved his career and sends Gabriel Kidd packing in a classic.
I can't believe what we just witnessed for the longest time in that grueling 30-minute Iron Man match. The young bull Gabriel Kidd had everything well in hand. How the hell did Joe Hendry turn the tables?
Joe Hendry with the heart of a champion. A come-from-behind victory for the prestigious one. And Hendry will march on in defiance, but the same cannot be said for the young bull.
I cannot believe that Gabriel Kidd is history. Joe Hendry, this will do incredible things for his career, not only here in Defiant, but worldwide when fans see that classic of a match back. But Gabriel Kidd certainly won't want to watch it again. Dave, Gabriel Kidd is gone.
Well, the young bull in his physical prime, but this was a gamble that Gabriel Kidd ultimately could not win. The mistake of his life for the former internet champion. Gabriel Kidd is out of Defiant Wrestling, and I won't pretend there is not a part of me that is very pleased to say it.
You can be pleased, disgusted, upset, happy, over the moon, whatever you want, whatever emotion you want to feel, it will pale in comparison as you see the tears roll down Kidd's face.
Joe Hendry marches on, but for Gabriel Kidd, frankly, it is goodbye and good riddance.
No need for this.
Cheers. My wrestling career has been several different chapters, and when I finish this job, I'm going to write a book about everything I've done, and my time in this company is going to take up the biggest chapter. In 2016, I came to What Culture Pro Wrestling. I was unknown. I was working shows with a max 200 people coming to those shows. Nobody knew who I was. But this company, they gave me the platform I needed WCPW, Defiant, whatever you want to call it, I would not be the worker I am today without this company. It's helped me progress as a professional wrestler. It's helped me progress as a human being. Some of my best mates I've met through this company just 3 years ago, and you know, they gave me the chance and the platform I needed to wrestle some of the best professional wrestlers on the planet. And the best thing is they did it right here in Newcastle. The company, 3 months in, booking Cody Rhodes versus Kurt Angle. How about that, eh? Magic. And here we are now, still going. They allowed me to wrestle Zack Sabre Jr., John Morrison, Austin Aries, Marty Scurll, some of the biggest names. And, you know, I'll never, ever forget this company. Now, this chapter of my career might be ending, but a new one is just about to start, and I advise you all to buy the book and stay along for the ride. I have nothing else to say, but thank you to everyone back there, and thank you to every single one of you.